So we just had some new information come out regarding the Romeo Doubs situation. And I just made a video in the past hour breaking down Matt LaFleur's comments from last night after the Rams game, Packers-Rams, where the Packers got the victory. And Matt LaFleur did bring up that he was looking forward to the conversation he was going to have with Romeo Doubs on Monday. And so now it looks like the Packers and Doubs have had a conversation, and we got some information out regarding that. Here it came out from Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, who says this: Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs plans to attend Wednesday's practice coming out of his meeting with the team today, per source. The meeting, quote, went well, end of quote, the source added. So Doubs, of course, missed practice Thursday and Friday. Bill Huber reports that he was frustrated with his opportunities in the passing game. It comes out the next day after that Bill Huber report that the Packers were suspending Romeo Doubs. And after seeing Matt LaFleur's press conference before this information came out, I really was wondering if the Packers and Doubs would be able to get things ironed out, because it feels like this isn't some really small thing when you have a player who's frustrated with his opportunities, deciding to skip out on practice. I was wondering if there's a chance of Doubs and the Packers not being able to move forward. The Packers had said they were expecting that he'd be back and things would go well, and I was just wondering if that was just sort of hope, or had they talked to him over the weekend, and were they confident that he would be okay coming back and getting back into the normal swing of things. And now with this information, it looks like, so far, at least right now, the plan is for Doubs to be back Wednesday, so it looks like they communicated with each other. I do wonder what they talked about. I wish we could hear what they talked about, but obviously they're not going to reveal all that information. Now here from Matt Schneiden, a quote from LaFleur: "What's done is done, and we are moving forward," end of quote. Matt LaFleur not interested in elaborating on Romeo Doubs, other than saying he looks forward to welcoming him back on Wednesday. Then from Tom Silverstein: Packers coach Matt LaFleur said he expects wide receiver Romeo Doubs back on Wednesday. He said he did not want to get into details about his conversation with Doubs, but he said he did have a productive meeting with him and expects to move forward. And then finally for Matt Schneiden, who said, here, quote from LaFleur, quote, "It's a pretty isolated incident. This has not happened with him before, and I don't expect it to happen moving forward," end of quote. And I think that's one reason that a lot of us Packers fans were shocked regarding the initial report from Bill Huber that he was frustrated. That's why he missed practice, because of his opportunities. It really sort of did seem, based on what we've seen from Doubs over the past couple of years, somewhat out of character. That's why I was shocked. If you had heard comments that could, potentially lead to something like this in the past, you'd say, okay, well, maybe you could have seen that coming. But this seemed like it was completely out of left field with Romeo Doubs. And it could have been that, he just got frustrated, that he was expecting to maybe do more at this point in the season, and maybe that frustration, led to him missing practice and, that whole situation that's gone down now. But luckily, this is, I think, the best case scenario clearly for the Packers, is to get things figured out with Romeo Doubs, because I was wondering if this didn't happen and Doubs was still frustrated, would it potentially lead to the Packers trading him away? Because I think when you get to a point with a player where they're frustrated, things aren't able to get ironed out, it's sort of maybe potentially awkward in the organization. I feel like you have no choice but to trade someone, because, at one point when you get to that moment where it's causing distractions in the team and you can get some trade capital for someone, I think that, teams make those kind of moves. And so I was hoping it wouldn't get to that point. I didn't know, because we just didn't know what Romeo Doubs has been thinking about this whole situation. And now the fact that he did talk to the Packers, it was a productive meeting, and he's expected to be at practice on Wednesday. It looks like things have gotten figured out. Just like with Jair Alexander last year when Jair got suspended, I was wondering the same thing. Would he get traded? Would he continue to stay frustrated? Luckily, that turned out well with the Packers and Jair as well. So hopefully it's a similar situation happening here with Romeo Doubs. And it looks like, at least right now, things are going to be fine going forward. Will this potentially flare up at any other moment? I sure hope not. And we'll sort of keep an eye on that. But right now, it looks like things are moving in the right direction. But if you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.